Hello, my name is Dr. Jeff Womack. I am the bassoon professor at Tennessee Tech University. We're going to be talking today about fundamentals of the bassoon, how to put the instrument together, how to hold it properly when seated, and how to make sound on the instrument and start the sound in the best way possible. My bassoon case is on the floor out of range of the camera, but we're going to start by talking about how to assemble it and disassemble it. So when you open the case, I want you to first look to pay attention to how it goes in the case. You'll notice that for most cases, the two middle parts are right next to each other. They go in the case together like they are when the instrument is assembled. I just wanted to point that out. So the first thing that I'll do is I will take out my boot joint, which is the widest piece. This is the boot joint of the instrument. This is where the right hand goes. It has a neck strap ring on the back most often, and there's a big, large band around the top most often. What I wanted to point out is whenever I'm holding the bassoon, when I'm assembling the bassoon, if I have to stand up in rehearsal or something and I have to hold my instrument, I'm always holding it by the boot joint. It's just to be safe so that if the other joints happen to be loose for some reason, which we really don't want them to be, but if they are, then I don't stand the risk of something coming apart or anything. I just want to be careful. So here's the boot joint. The next thing I will grab is the wing joint, and I will show you this. So this is the wing joint. Most bassoons will not have this key. It's an extra thing that I have, so I'm just going to hold that out of the way. But this is called the wing joint. It's got a little curved piece of wood right here on the front. This is to enable the finger holes to come closer together to where they need to be so your fingers can reach them more comfortably. You'll see that it's got a little bit of a curve on the inside as well. When the bass joint, the longest joint on the bassoon, is next to it, it fits right up inside there. So the first thing I'm going to do is put these two together. So I'm going to change hands again. I've got the boot joint in my right hand, and I've got the wing joint in my left hand. I wanted to point out there is a key right here on the bottom of the wing joint. You want to be careful when you put it together that doesn't get caught and bent. So what I normally do, this is a good angle, I put the wing joint into the boot joint, and I actually don't have it lined up properly. The key is sticking out right here by itself, and that's okay. I'm going to just gently twist and push it till it's all the way together. Now I will hold the boot joint, holding the wing joint here with my hand in that little cutout part, and I'm not bending any keys. And now I will just turn it around until it lines up properly. There are two ways to check for that. The curve on the inside where the other joint goes should line up perfectly with that curve on the inside of the wing joint. Another way, many bassoons will actually have a little hash mark here on the ring on the top of the boot joint and a little hash mark on the wing joint. And you just line those up, and it helps you to just easily see it really quickly and know that it's put together properly. Okay, I have to get the bass joint out, so I'm holding it in my right hand. Reach down and grab that, and here's my bass joint. Now I just want to point out really quickly, the bass joint on almost everyone's bassoon is longer than mine. My bassoon is divided in a different way, so the bell is longer and this is shorter, but this is still the bass joint, and it goes right next to this. The thing I want to point out before I assemble it is these two keys right here. You want to be careful when we put this in and we have to gently twist to push it all the way down. We want to just be careful we don't twist it too far and catch the bassoon with this and scratch the instrument, but also bend the keys and get it out of adjustment. So I'm holding this up. I actually, if it's comfortable, I will sit the boot joint on my chair because it's easier to handle that way. Holding the boot joint up, all of those thumb keys are facing me, and I just let it go right where it goes. Now it's not all the way in. I have to push down and twist to get it in. So I'm just going to do that carefully, and I'm making sure that these keys right here don't hit the wing joint. So I'm just twisting till it's all the way down, and then get it lined up like that. Now, your bassoons most often have a lock that is a spring-loaded lock that connects the bass joint to the wing joint. There's a little hole in the top of the wing joint, and if you flip that lock, it will slide right down into there, and you fold that little lever back out of the way, and it helps hold it together, and it works really well. The last part that we have is the bell. So I reach down and get the bell, and I'm going to switch hands. So the bell on my instrument, I'm going to carefully put that on, and again, I'm not going to line the keys up right away. There's a key here to line up with the bass joint. I'm just going to get the bell on pretty far, and then I will carefully turn it until it's lined up properly. I just want to be careful that I don't bend any keys, and that's why I do that. Okay, before I pick the bassoon up, the last thing I'm doing is I need to get the crook or bocal out of the case. It's a very good habit to take the bocal out last and hold on to it until you're ready to use it. You want to be careful because these are a little bit delicate. They can bend pretty easily. So I hold it I curve my two fingers around the large part like this, and with my thumb and index finger, I hold right above the cork. And you see the little, this is called a nib right here that sticks out, and there's a little hole in it. On the wing joint, we have a little key called the whisper key, and there's a little pad. That pad has to cover that hole. So when I put it together, I want to make sure that's lined up. The other thing I want to point out is when I'm putting this in here, I want to make sure that the little nib doesn't catch the pad and tear the pad off. It happens, it can be fixed, but we just want to be careful. So I'm holding the bocal so that I'm safe, and I am putting the bocal in, and again, I'm putting it in, and this nib is not lined up with this yet. I'm going to get it in, then I will turn it around. So I gently hold this, and I twist gently until it goes all the way down. One other thing about the socket receiver where the bocal goes, there's actually a shelf, so the bocal goes into a certain depth and stops. We don't actually have anything to pull out or push in on the bassoon for tuning, so you push it in all the way. And then I will carefully turn the bocal until it lines up, and I double check to make sure that the pad is covering the hole. And if you look at it from this angle, you'll see that these two joints kind of make a plane. Don't hold your bassoon like this, I'm doing it to demonstrate. So there's a plane this way, and the bocal is almost 90 degrees, sticking straight up. So I'm holding it with my right hand as well, and I will hook that to the seat strap. And now I'm ready to get my reed, put that on the instrument, all of those things, getting ready to start playing. One other detail, another part that the bassoon can have is something called a crook. And a crook is a hand support for the right hand. I happen to use one, I like it. I think it's a really good idea because it helps give me stability when I'm holding the instrument. They can be adjusted to have very little depth, or they can be pulled out to if you have particularly large hands. So most of them just slide in. Mine happens to screw in. That doesn't really matter. So these crooks, there's a knob on one end and a flat part. So you can have the knob facing up, and it rests in your hand like that, and you put your fingers on the bassoon. You can also have it upside down so the knob is on the bottom, and that rests in the palm of your hand, and it gives you the same stability. When the bassoon is on the seat strap and I'm holding it and playing it, that's there. My hand is on that crook, crutch, and my other point of contact is the top of the palm, right below the base of the finger. So I'm not touching with the finger, but it's right here below the base of the finger on the top of the palm. My fingers are on the keys, and that crutch is in my hand. That gives me a lot of stability, and I have it on the seat strap as well. The seat strap, I will explain this a little more in the next video, but the seat strap goes with the hook or the little cup to the right side, and the bassoon connects to that there. The bassoon goes across us from right to left, and we read over the right side of the instrument.